After drivers taking a few weeks off and tackling Darlington Raceway, we head from the track Too Tough to Tame to the Tricky Triangle here at Pocono Raceway. My name's Fini DeCuna here with Hunter Sleppy and Connor Horn for round number 8 of the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. Guys, glad to have you back in the booth with me after a little bit of time off for some action and getting ready to get down with it here at Pocono.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one for sure. One of the more unique tracks on the NASCAR schedule. Obviously, only 3 corners. If you ask Carl Edwards, it's 6. But definitely 3 corners here. 3 unique corners, all completely different, and all going to provide some pretty action-packed racing. It's going to be pretty wild. Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Not a big place at all. Only a population of about 5,200 people. Built configured in 1971. And we'll see if it's host to a new winner, or is it going to be James Scioli going to be rolling on through, Hunter?
He's won 5 of the 7 races in this Florida State Builders Pro Series. The only other winners have been Justin Sogok and Cameron Hearn. The rest have just been James Scioli. He could very well earn 7 wins for that 7 car before we get to the postseason. And look at your playoff picture. Scioli and Sogok Hearn. He's got, again, 5 wins on the season. And Justin Munsell plus 82 to the cutoff. And then we got Beckner, Furness, Hartz, Therian, Weaver, and Bell. And then it gets kind of close to the cutoff line with Casey Lacatus and David Weishart.
Yeah, James Scully very much taking a picture out of the book from Jake Nichols' book last season in the Cup Series. Absolutely dominating the Pro Series so far. Many drivers still on his tail, though. We'll see if we can have more winners here tonight. Certainly at the moment, trying to see where actually is James Scully on the timing sheet. He's not... Yeah,
he's 4th.
Only 4th. There you go. He's got 3 people ahead of him, but we'll see if that'll change in qualifying and in the race. Taking a look at the team standings real quick, David Weishart Racing, of course, dominating as well. They're also starting to run out of space for the amount of win stickers that they have. I think one more win and they'll have to go to just the number, added 7 to that. Sky Motorsports trailing with no wins to their name, but just consistently getting some solid points in, as well as IRLC Motorsports. And then the only other team with the win, Slaughterson Racing, back and forth at 462 points.
Yeah, 462. Even with that one win, not as consistent as IRLC and Sky Motorsports ahead of them. Then Fazekas is down there in the 5th position. Miller Racing, Darnell Racing, a little bit off the pace. And a tie for 8th. Hartman Coupe Motorsports and Bowie Esports at 362, and Central United lagging back a little bit, but still very close between the top 4. Anyone can really get into that top 3, but I don't think the top team's going to fall out of that top 3. So I'd say there's 2 open spaces right now as we go down to the track to see practice. Number of cars rolling off. I believe that's Carter Coupe. No, that's Mason Kane. Never noticeable Mason Kane machine rolling off. Matthew Bell 2nd on the timing sheet so far, but he is only 2nd to Ryan Hartz. As actually looking at that, it looks like Brad Slaughter Jr. is in the 3rd. He's the winner from Tuesday night at Martinsville. Completely different track, though, so that's not going to translate, I don't think, at all.
Not one bit, but Mason Kane is 6th quickest in the session, and he lost quite a bit of spots from the previous week. Lost 5 spots in the points outside that top 20 window. But you have to be in the top 20 and have a win in order to qualify for the postseason. Mason Kane shows some speed. Has been up and down here and there, but see if the 31 can get things pointed in the right direction, kind of like the 7 of Scioli.
Yeah, they're taking a look at the man that you just mentioned, James Scully, currently sitting 4th on the time sheets, dominating the series. 5 wins to his name. Can he make it 6 tonight? We'll see. He's been pretty decent in practice. Also, some drivers decent in practice so far. Chris Rabel in the 29 machine, sitting in 5th. And we'll talk about Mason Kane. There he is, currently sitting 6th in the 31 machine. Also, drivers of note, Shane Terrian doing pretty decent, 8th in practice at the moment. David Weishart in 10th in the 33 car. And he's been having some pretty solid finishes of late. We're talking about him kind of straggling on the outside of the points, and the recent rounds has been really improving his finishes and getting that 33 car up there.
Yeah, he's definitely been improving so far, and he's been one of the drivers who's been on track the most in this session. He just practiced his pit entry, which maybe we'll see some green flag pit stops tonight. We didn't see them Monday night, but should get a more spread out race. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but Weishart definitely looking to challenge, hopefully, for a few more top 10s, even top 5s. He's definitely showing some pace. And Justin Munsell, I would say, some people might think he's underrated, but he's been really, really fast this season. He's been at the front more times than not.
Because he hasn't had a chance to win a race. So, I mean, he's had chances to win, but it's just the 7th's too fast. But still knocking on the door for that first win. And going back to John Furness, he was a previous winner at this track, as Beckner's doing a little shindig there with less than 30 to go in practice. John Furness won this race a season ago where there was no cautions. He dominated from the pole position, leading 61 laps. A little bit off the pace compared to seasons past, but still got qualifying to go, and maybe things can change for the 28.
Yeah, we always say, practice it's a decent indicator of how these drivers are going to do, but obviously really the main things you want to look out for is qualifying to set the order and then officially the race, because that's what's going to be paying out the points for these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, definitely going to be important. Qualifying is not going to be, I would say, too important here, but we saw the race go completely green last season. It ended up in John Furness completely dominating, and we saw different strategies come about. We saw, I think, some people try one stop, some people try two stops. It's James Scarlett finished 13th. I think he was on the alternate, not as popular strategy. So if we get a similar race, we might see the same thing play out tonight.
Yeah, and actually before we get into qualifying here, just want to give a quick plug to the Area iRacing Twitch channel, which is kind of ironic and as of recent few days and news from Twitch. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel for only $5 a month. You can watch all Area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat. You'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise. That's the Area iRacing Twitch channel here, as a few drivers are already getting out there on the track for qualifying.
Do you have to shorten the ticker for Twitch?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm pretty sure they walked back on those, so maybe not.
I would hope so, because, man, those are some controversial changes. But getting down to the action on the track, Michael Muhammad, currently one of the first drivers to get out there in the 78 machine. Dr. Pepper car working around turn 2. And, guys, we saw turn 2 be very treacherous to a lot of drivers. As Michael Muhammad
treacherous to the internet.
Yeah, I was going to say, as he went through the tunnel turn, I was going to say, on the exit in particular, saw a lot of wrecks in the Cup Series. And I think, for the most part, I feel like we might see something similar here tonight. I think it really depends on how close the field stays together.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It's so hard to go through there on your own, let alone 2-3 wide, which obviously with how packed up the Cup race was, we saw a lot of that, especially with how many restarts we had. We'll have to see if we see the same thing tonight, as it's going to be tough to slide through there cleanly. We saw a lot of drivers in practice getting loose in there specifically more than any other corner. It looks loose all around here as Mike Muhammad, as he blinks again, really slinging the right rear out as he goes down the long pond straightaway.
Definitely won't help you there if you're continuing to blink in and out, but you don't get off turn 1 well, you're going to be stuck in this straightaway, then down into turn 2, very sharp left-hand turn, and that wall at the exit. Right there, it just kind of bites out at you, where you don't know that you're going to hit it until you're two seconds away from hitting it, or 2 milliseconds away from hitting it. As we see the 6 of Munsell come off turn 3. There is no turn 4. It'll come across the stripe, and it'll put down a 54.535. Track record here was 54.530 from Alan Elwood. So 5/1000 shy from the track record is Munsell, but Hearn is to the top with a 5.23.
Whoa, oh, that's a slide.
Going to Jordan Martin. Also want to mention these drivers only have one time lap to put down. So if these guys make a mistake like we saw with Ryan Swan, he's going to be starting near the back of the order. Ryan Hartz is about to start his lap. Brad Slaughter about to finish his lap here.
Looks like he's on a good one all the way to the yellow line through 3, but not low enough to hit those rumble strips that would kind of hurt you and put you off the track. Slaughter got through 3 really good here. See what type of lap he puts down to the line. 54.585, good enough for 6th position.
Solid effort for him. Trying to take a look at some other drivers. Beckner is still getting out on his lap. Ryan Hartz has started his lap in the number 3, and he saw him near the top of the timesheet. John Furness.
Look at the pole. Look at the pole,
Wow.
John Furness. I said things could change. 16th quickest in practice. Don't mean a damn thing. John Furness at the top for now. Still 6.5 minutes to go.
By a 1/10 of a second. That is insane speed shown by that 28 car.
Yeah, and Cameron Hearn joining him in second place, right in behind, who overseeded the 6th of Justin Munsell. Taking a look back at Ryan Hartz, number 3. He was quick in practice. Will it carry over, though, is going to be the big question.
I believe he was fastest in practice, but we will see if it carries over. It looks like track's completely shaded, so we might see a lot of times get put down now as Hartz goes to the top of the leaderboard at 54.413. He bests the 28. And once again, I even said this during the Cup race, the number 28 and the number 3 are always next to each other. If you know football, you know those. Some people like that number, some people don't.
Wow. So we got a carousel for the pole position at the moment. And now we're looking at Travis Beckner coming through the tunnel turn. Going to slide a bit close to that wall on exit. That tunnel turn is going to be a treacherous spot. We might see something happen on opening lap with how close some of these guys get to the wall. And look at Matthew Bell, 54.398.
Yeah, saw him on a lap. Wasn't sure I was going to be, but there you go. 15 thousandths of a second. He'll beat Ryan Harskan. Travis Beckner joined up there. He was looking pretty solid in practice. 0.578, going to be pretty much around midfield, going to be around 10th at the moment.
Number of drivers finishing laps. Justin Anasogak's coming out of 3 now. Scioli is starting his lap, so we have to look at his lap. Anasogak goes 54.69, which is nice, but in reality it's not. It puts him 16th place as John Furness is doing practice laps. Swerve and Paul Irvin's getting a lap going.
Have to see what the 7 of Scioli does as Irvin
He's
swerved a little bit too much into the barrels. Yep.
That's one way to get it stopped before the line. That was actually smart. He might have a concussion, but he did get stopped. He can do another lap.
He won't have a concussion because he's not driving the next gen car.
Wow. Well, I mean, hit like that. Who knows? But Scioli, we'll see if he gets a better run out of 3. It's kind of hard to get a run out of 3 at Pocono because you want to run the top, but there's no banking, so it's hard to really get the best run out of 3. Scioli's just going to go with a normal line and get the best run of a line he can to start his lap.
Yeah, very interesting track this is. Only 3 turns, and each turn is different as we're heading into turn 1, which is modeled after Trenton Speedway, which is now non-existent. Some say it's a lake, but it's built alongside of a lake.
It's probably a
So
shopping center.
No, it's a warehouse. It's true.
Oh, it's a warehouse
Yeah.
now? Okay.
Warehouse. Not Amazon, like most places. And then we get down into turn 2, which is 8 degrees of banking. Turn 1 was 14, by the way. This one's 8 degrees, modeled after Indianapolis. And I believe someone asked on the Cup broadcast which turn it's modeled after for Indianapolis specifically, but they're all the same. And then we get to turn 3, which is the lowest degree of banking, 6 degrees, and this is after the Milwaukee Mile. Seems like Scioli got a pretty good lap. We'll see if it's good enough for pole.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
Ooh. Solid lap. Going to be the number 7 jumping up the pole by almost a 10th of a second over Matthew Bell. Just when we thought these guys can go faster, they find a way to go faster. So number 7 up on the top of the timing sheets. I don't think any of the remaining drivers might have a shot at pole, but we'll never know. Shane Abbey, 54.482. That's a decent lap for the 84. He's going to jump up to 5th place.
He has a beautiful paint scheme that we'll see later as Irvin comes out of 3. He does get a lap in here. He's just going to go to the way bottom. Not sure if I don't think he's happy with it. Might have missed a slide because as well off the pace puts him in 23rd.
Still haven't seen a lap from Ryan Swan or Jeffrey Wilson.
He hit the wall, if you remember. He was one of the first guys who rode on. He hit the wall out of turn 2 on his timing lap, so he will be starting near the back, unfortunately. Jeffrey Wilson, the 98, though, coming out of turn 3 and across the line, close to the pit wall, 54.9. It's going to be back in 25th for him. Matthew Cochran, one of the last few guys to be getting out there on the track. Just saw Alex Weaver jump in the car. I don't know if he's got enough time. He's barely got enough time.
2 minutes to go.
Cutting it close.
If they go now, I think you'll have enough time, but definitely cutting it as close as you can. Trying to probably get the most out of a track, but I think Scioli went out in the best conditions as Cochran had he slid all the way through the tunnel turn, I think, as this is looking like a struggle up a lap so far.
Yeah, we'll see plenty of 2 wide and 3 wide through the tunnel turn, and we'll see plenty of cars getting a little high over there in 3 like Cochran did. We'll see if he can put this one in a good starting position, and it'll be 55.313, good enough for 30th.
Here comes Alex Weaver, way high in turn 3. Almost going to hit the camera.
He's running the Larson line.
Don't really know that's the fastest way, but it will definitely give you a solid boost down the front straightaway. So he will have enough time by just about 20 seconds or so. As he comes flying across the line, has to make sure he gets this lap in. One of the last few guys that will be qualifying here at Pocono.
Really shallow entry, probably lower than you wanted to be on entry, but still carrying decent speed out of 2. Gave a lot of room to the outside wall, though, as thunders through down long punch straight away. You have a lot of time to think from here to the tunnel turn, and it sometimes can mess with you.
So he gave a good bit of cushion between that wall on the straightaway. And here he is coming out 2, gonna get
Much
that's a
closer.
pretty good gap. Yeah, much closer. See if he shapes up turn 3 well for a potential pole run.
Another shallow entry here. You really want to enter late into 3 to get the best run on the front straight as you can, but Weaver looked like just went for the shallow, maybe just trying to get a lap on the board and not start way at the back as he'll cross the line at 54.807, good enough for 19th, almost top half of the field.
Yeah, we relegated pretty much midfield for the 62, and that with just a couple seconds remaining in qualifying, that'll wrap things up. And it looks like for the 3rd time this season, James Kyle will be sitting on pole position.
I am shocked.
And the man's doing pretty good. They got to find some way to nerf him. There's no really way to do that officially, I guess. You can't give any weight penalties per driver. That'd be interesting to see that, because I know they do that in the Super GT series in Japan. They give you a weight penalty. The better you do, the more weight you have throughout the season. So might want to do that.
That's one way to manipulate the championship, I suppose. But that's his 9th career pole in Pro Series competition. That puts him 2nd to Alan Elwood. But he breaks a tie with Cameron Hearn. Obviously, the 7's looking really, really fast. And he was fast at Pocono last season, too. But he didn't get the strategy right. And John Furness was just, I think, the better driver in general that day. But we could see a different story today. Furness down. I say down. He's still starting 4th.
Connor, is the session working for you, or is it just me?
As in, we're on warm-up.
You're on, okay, because it's paused for me, so I might have to leave the session and join back again. So we can continue talking as I try to load back in.
There's a Coca-Cola sign there. That's something to talk about. I don't have Coca-Cola on me, though. There's a good view of the track. It's such a unique track. I personally love it. I think it's one of my favorites. I wish we still went here 2 times a season, whether it's a doubleheader or 2 separate dates. But it's always a track I've loved since I was a child because I lived close to it, obviously, and I went to some qualifying sessions, some races when I was really, really young, and it just a nice place in my heart. This track has.
I just wish IndyCar came back here.
That's another one. They were a blast here. Obviously, unfortunate incidents, but they were a blast. They always put on fun races.
Yeah, Pocono and Auto Club, both of those tracks worked very well for IndyCar. It was just an absolute spectacle to watch.
Just big tracks in general. Michigan could be in that same category, too. I'm not sure how IndyCar would race with the pavement the way it is now.
What, with that Pocono?
Well, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan, yes. Actually, yeah, they haven't gone there with the new pavement. I haven't thought of that.
God, how long has it been since they've been here?
It's been a while.
Probably. Have they been here in this millennium? I wouldn't remember.
Michigan? Yeah, they definitely were.
Ah.
I want to say maybe 2007.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because the Franchitti had his.
Oh, Franchitti. Was it Weldon or Franchitti?
I thought it was Franchitti who went flying, but maybe it was Dan Weldon. It was one of the two. Maybe I'm thinking of Kentucky because Franchitti went flying in that race as well.
Yep. No, that was Dario Franchitti from Michigan.
Wild stuff. But that's another track I think that could still race well. They made Texas race well. What track can they? They could probably make any track race well if they made Texas race well.
Well, Texas, they're not going to do much with Texas if they're the repave. From what they said, if they repave the track, it won't be suitable for IndyCar. So I'll be out.
What, Texas?
Yep.
Oh, I was talking about they made Texas now race well.
Oh yeah.
If they could make that track race good, I don't think Michigan's an issue.
Roger, do the right thing. Come back to Pocono.
It is up to Roger. Also, bring back the Freedom 100. Do that too.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that race hasn't come back. What was the reasoning for them?
Probably cost cutting. It was probably a COVID casualty, but I wouldn't know off the 100%.
That I can live with. I'm just surprised that they, with everyone taking races off, having to change the schedules for COVID, that was understandable. But I think by now things should be sorted, right? Like you would think.
I think so, yeah.
More or less.
It's not like it ever disappointed.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was. I thought it would be a great draw for the series, seeing those guys, especially that one. Everyone remembers that one finish.
4 wide. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did they ever have a non side by side finish?
It's kind of hard not to with with a car that has such low power and such high drag. It just kind of lends to those kind of finishes. 'Cause at least in the Indy cars, they're fast enough. Like you maybe get a side by side finish. Rarely will ever get a 3-wide. I don't think there's ever been a 3-wide finish in Indy in the Indy 500.
In 8500, I don't.
Yeah.
Has there been a 2-wide finish technically? I know there was close finishes that were
Oh,
close.
we've got
but I don't know
like
if they were
close to
2-wide.
like the rear wheel, like almost 2-wide, not like nose to nose
There was
2-wide.
I think it was Hornish and Andretti from '06.
Oh, it was close. I don't know if I feel like Hornish. That's the wild thing. Hornish, I think, fully cleared him before he got to the line, and he was so far back at the start of that lap. I watched that. I still can't believe he won that race, and that's the closest. Funny enough, it's the closest Marco's ever been to the race. Still,
Mason's put in the Twitch chat, I like race cars.
yes, we do love race cars here. Also, Rusty Wallace called it the Daytona 500 when he was on that broadcast team. Who thought that was a good idea? By the way, Rusty in the booth for the Indy 500.
It's still, well, Dale Jr. for the Indy 500 is such a good idea as well.
Well, he's not in the booth. He hasn't been in the booth. He covers.
Yeah,
I still find it hilarious. Dale Jr. was covering the Kentucky Derby. I saw all sorts of tweets like, "Why is Dale picking a horse? He don't know anything. He needs to pick the winning horse."
Yeah, he picked the winning horse.
Yeah, that was a really weird one. But good news, guys. I am back in the server. I don't know what it was. Is like iRacing. I saw the ticker the timing wasn't going down, and I saw no one in warm up. It's a weird issue, but reloaded back into the server, so we're good to go. Before we get down to the gridding, I just want to give a shout out to Roasted Gems Coffee, our starting grid sponsor. Race fans, start your engine with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code Area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. All right, guys, let's get down to it. Starting on pole position is James Scioli, again mentioned for the third time this season. Definitely one of the guys to beat out there. Next to Matthew Bell with a solid qualifying effort for himself in the 43 Chevy Camaro next to him in second.
Then another Chevrolet Camaro on row 2 is Ryan Hart's in the 3 machine, and the yet-to-grid Ford Mustang of John Furness, last year's winner here, led all but 9 laps at Pocono.
Again, actually looks like this graphic is not working because of the way I joined into the session. So give me 1 sec to pull it up on iRacing. I love these technical issues like this.
Oh, that's great. It's because there's 3 turns, not 4. I think
It's definitely because of that. Starting in 5th is going to be Shane Abbey in the 84. Next to him, Cameron Hearns going to be lined up in 6th place in the 67.
The Jimmy Johnson scheme looks pretty on Shane Abbey's car. We'll get to see it for sure. Justin Munsell starting 7th in a Toyota Supra. Alongside him, David Weishart, who's been close to red hot so far.
Moving on back to 9th place, going to be Mason Kane in the 31. Next to him, Shane Terrian in the 38 in 10th place.
Chris Rabel in the 29 machine was looking fast on Monday night. We'll see if we can duplicate that. He starts 11th. Alongside him, the always aggressive Travis Beckner.
Moving back to 13 is going to be Brad Slaughter Jr. lineup in the 9 car in 13th place. Greg Mitchell in the 2 lineup in 14th.
Recognizable Greg Biffle-Font on the 16 of Tom Bourne on another Supra, 16th place. A good qualifying effort for Chris excuse me. I had an incident there. Chris Seidenfaden in the 45.
Moving on back to the 18 car, 17th place for Colin Fambro. Next to him, Justin Muntz is going to line up in the 88 in 18th.
Alex Weaver's looking for some more momentum. Had a good start to the season, but has fallen off as of late, starting 19th place. Alongside him will be Forrest Smith.
Moving on back to 21st, Philip York in the 97 car is going to be next to Michael Muhammad in the 78 in 22nd.
Both those drivers ran the same exact time. As a matter of fact, 3 drivers tied for that time. 23rd place, Ed Robertson in the 64 Ford Mustang, alongside the ever recognizable with a sporty paint scheme as always, Swervin' Paul Irvin in the 48.
Moving on back, Bryce Senezek is going to be lined up in 25th in the 09. Next to him, Jeffrey Wilson in the 98 in 26th.
Jordan Martin had an early exit Monday night. He'll try to right that ship, starting 27th place. Alongside him, the Case Licata's 50 with a beautiful Grid Life logo on the hood of that machine.
Moving back to 29th, will be Chuck Sweeting in the 75. Next to him, Garrett Grant in the 5 and 30th.
Ever recognizable Bass Pro Shop scheme of Matthew Cochran starting 31st. Alongside him, another Supra, the 1 machine of Steve Durham, also sporting the Grid Life.
Austin Jack Jones is going to be lined up in the 8 machine in 33rd. Andrew Santo in the 10 in 34th.
Then the last 3 to round out this field, the only drivers that not put down a time, Jacob Hudson, Ryan Swan, and James Cowie, rounding out our field of 37 drivers.
All right, let's get down to the action here. These drivers already lining up at a turn 2, getting ready to go. And guys, really quick before we go, who are your picks to win this race?
I'm trying to. I'm gonna go non-obvious and not go Scioli. I'm gonna go John Furnace. I think he goes back to back. I think he's got the pace.
Hearts.
All right, Ryan Hart's for Hunter. I think I'm gonna go with the 43 Matthew Bell. I think I like what he's got on the outside row. Here comes the field lining down to turn number 1 into the start finish line. Here we go. Green flag is out, and we are green here at Pocono. Well, it looks like Matthew Cochran's going to peel out on to the straight. He's going to peel out and behind. 3 wide into turn 1. Brad Slaughter going to go 3 wide. And it's going to be the 7 of James Kelly leading off into turn 1. Matthew Bell a little sideways, though, out of turn 1. He's going to save it.
Yeah, that was a big slide. You get too high in turn 1, there are bumps you hit, and it shoots you well up the track, and I think he hit those, and he had to recover. Puts Hearts to second, as they almost go 3 wide for third. Cameron Hearn jumps up to the outside, 2x2 into the tunnel turn's tough.
Tunnel turn is tough to go double wide, but 3 wide, they're looking in the back, and looks like everyone got through okay, but Matthew Bell still trying to recover from that blunder on the initial start. He's falling back to 4th as Munsell. There's your Larson line right there. He's all the way up top in turn 3.
Trying to get a run out of the corner. James Kelly with a decent lead will complete lap number 1 and will lead by about half a second. You see Munsell going to do the switchback on Shane Abbey, who's trying to get him a little bit offline to have a fight with him. This is a battle for 5th place.
It's the first side-by-side battle as the top 4, as Abbey has a really big bump get in his way. He shoots up the track. Munsell's able to clear. Weishart's going to be next in line to try to challenge that 84 as we get a side-by-side battle. Now Ryan Hart's under fire. Cameron Hearn on the move early.
Hearn looking for the second spot and potentially second win of the season as they're going in the tunnel turn. In the back, you saw David Weishart and Shane Abbey going at it for the 7th spot. Abbey takes away that position for now, but Weishart's still going to look down low heading into 3.
And there you see Shane Abbey up on the top side. Weishart, you see on the yellow line, going to drift up a little bit tight off the corner. Going to be a drag race for them. Mason Kane sitting in behind, licking his chops in the 31.
And ahead of this, John Furnace and Matthew Bell go side by side, so not a good start for Bell at all as he's looking to try not to fall outside the top 5. He'll go back to 5th, but at least stay in the top 5 for the time being as Abbey goes up the track again, courtesy of those bumps, but 33 is not able to clear. In fact, the 84 is going to get a solid run.
No, Weishart had a little bit of a bobble too, and that's the tough thing about trying to make a pass going in the 1. If you can't complete it, you're stuck on that inside line unless you can find a gap to get in, like we saw Weishart just do there. But so for the most part, still single file until we get to Matthew Bell, going to try and take back 4th from Furnace.
And there you see Bell going to look up the inside. He's going to door the 28 Furnace out of the way. Already getting the elbows out here early on. And you see the 43 going to come out to clear. Munsell taking advantage of the situation. He's going to go the inside. Here comes Shane Abbey now trying to make a move. The 28 might lose 2-3 spots before they even get to turn 1.
Furnace, I think he said car high on the radio, but it looked like he came down more than the 43 came up. Those two kind of just came together. As he's going to hit the bumps. You could tell you do not want to be on the second line, second groove in turn 1. I think everyone knows that now. But Matthew Bell gets a good run up there after trying to avoid those bumps. I don't know if there was any malicious intent between those two, but it definitely came together. But looks like they both got away without damage.
Well, that brings Munsell and Abbey one's position closer each to the top 5 spot as Furnace still trying to navigate his way back inside the top 5. Weishart's still looking low for the 7th position. They might touch here. Very close to
Furnace is leaning on the 33's door, and I almost saw a repeat of what happened a lap ago. And with that, he successfully prevents Weishart from getting in the run off the corner. So Furnace will stay in 7th. Weishart relegated back to 8th place.
Weishart got up in front of Mason Kane, so no challenge there. Pushing 191 in the turn number 1 is the 33, and you can imagine how everyone else is going much faster probably because he's in traffic as Furnace has to regroup a little bit. He's fortunate to get away with no damage as Mason Kane shimmies off turn number 1 and gets away with no damage, but the 28's got to regroup here as everyone pretty much single files out all the way pretty much throughout the field. There's one side-by-side battle all the way back in 32nd position, Austin Gacjone and Garrett Grant. But meanwhile, it's Scioli's clear away 0.8 of a second over Cameron Hearn.
Hearn still keeping a manageable gap between himself and Scioli. Then you got Ryan Hartz over there about the same distance in 3rd, and Here's a little further back. It's the 97 of Philip York. On the inside of is Michael Muhammad.
Yeah, Michael Muhammad on the outside, York on the inside as they have a bit of a drag race out towards turn number 1 on the front straightaway. But so far, the field getting somewhat straightened out. Ooh, we see Tom Bourne clip the apron, threw it in a little bit deep on Fambro, and might lose the spot there. He will. And now Chris Rabel trying to take advantage of the situation.
And he likely will take advantage. They'll at least be side by side with the 45 having the advantage in the tunnel turn, as they will go side by side. As not a big dive by the 45. Bourne cannot get in line. Alex Weaver going to take advantage. This is going to be for the, I believe, 18th position, as Muhammad and York still go at it. Big chop there from the 78.
Well, the camera is showing otherwise, as now we're going to come back in the middle of Tom Bourne and Alex Weaver.
Yeah, we did. Had to try to fix the audio. We got audio back.
Listen to those. I thought we were in an electric series for a while there. We're all good, though, as that was pretty egregious by 78, but no contact, so nothing bad there, as Bourne's still not looking to fall back. He is falling back because those bumps are hitting him hard, as Weaver gets by Muhammad next in line as they get as close as he can be out of the corner.
Now won't die just yet, as Weaver going to try and drive away from the 16 and 78. Ow. They're going to go side by side, heading in the tunnel turn. York going to try and get a big enough run to go underneath the 78. We're running on board the bumper, and boy, they are still chopping it up back there. Riding out the bumper of Tom Bourne. 19th on back. It's a Hornet's Nest.
Just about a Hornet's Nest, almost 3 wide. You saw in the background the 81 Forrest Smith trying to knock on the door of those two drivers. Couldn't get it done. The 97 not a great exit, actually a decent exit off. He will defend from Michael Muhammad as they somewhat sort themselves out. In behind them, a little bit of a battle brewing here at Robertson. Justin Anasogak duking it out for a spot.
And he's going to get Bryce Senesac likely here too. He'll at least get under him. Senesac up the track. We will see 64 can get a run, probably not. He'll have room to get back in line behind the 09, as he'll do just that, as Paul Irvin, Case Lacadas, that's 26th place, getting contested. Meanwhile, at the front, still not much change, still pretty orderly single file, and all the way up to David Weishart, who's kind of on his own. Ryan Hartz, though, under fire a little bit from Matthew Bell, as he's losing touch with the top two.
Hartz is essentially leading the conga line out of turn 3. Everyone's single file, nicely tucked in line. It's still 0.8 of a second between Scioli and Hearn, but Hartz has dropped a couple of tenths over the last handful of laps to Hearn.
I see someone in the background peeling out to make a move. Can't tell who it is. It looks like the 75 of Chuck Sweeting is deciding to make a pass on Andrew Santos. It's a battle for 28th. It's kind of showing you how far back you have to go, because everyone's just getting into a groove here for the long haul. For Smith up high out of turn 1, though, trying to have a fight with Bryce Senesac.
He's going to get that, maintain that position from the 09 of Senesac, as Ed Robertson not able to do much with that. As Santo and Sweden will go side by side through the tunnel turn. You can tell how hard it is to pass right now.
Michael Muhammad in the wall.
Couple of cars in the wall. Senesac scraped it as well.
Followed him right into it, I think. Everyone just followed the 78 up there. They both hit hard. Whew, that was close. That Jordan Martin, I think, who almost got into Senesac. Look at this hit. He's already offline.
Take a look at the replay here. This is with Michael Muhammad in the wall. There's Senesac also getting a piece. I think Senesac got away with a little bit more than Muhammad did. He smacked it pretty good. You can see some damage, and here he is under attack now. There's Ed Robinson working to his insides. That's Jordan Martin in the purple 17 Ford Mustang on the inside of Senesac, and this might get dicey here out of turn 1.
This is going to get dicey for a number of corners here. As you can see, Senesac's going to get to the bottom. He just wants to get away from the 78. Jordan Martin will clear, but they're going to be stacked up in the tunnel turn. This is not what you want to have happen on old tires, as Muhammad's going to fire it into the corner. Way out of line goes Andrew Santo, but they make it through that tunnel turn once again.
Yeah, still a mess back there for Paul Irvin, Justin Sogok, and others, as the two cars that made contact with the wall a lap ago are door to door. Well, now Senesac's going to shut the door on Michael Muhammad, and now we'll see what the rest of the field can do to try and navigate their way around it.
Great stuff back here for a lot of these drivers, even though they would probably be trying to just get into a groove here, but they can't decide what order they want to be in. Muhammad makes another move to the inside of Senezek here, despite some damage to the right side of that car. He's not giving up. Oh, he's going to door the 0-9. He's going to put Senezek out of line, and I can't imagine he's going to be too happy with that.
Yeah, Senezek made the pass, and Muhammad just decided to throw it in there and give a little bit of an elbow to the 0-9, as Paul Irvin's going to be the one to try to take advantage of Muhammad's contact, as he will try to clear through the tunnel turn. He will do that. Chuck Sweeting next in line, as Lakatos gets a big run on both of them, but nowhere to go with it, as I can assure you, not missing too much at the front. Travis Beckner, Greg Mitchell side by side. Shane Abbey, John Furness going at it. Other than that, same as always.
Take a look.
Well, they were going at it.
They were going out of the corner. Sorry to cut you off there, Hunter. Taking a look, though, up ahead. Ooh, looks like John Furness trying to make a move to the inside of Shane Abbey. David Weiss started behind him.
Like Shane Abbey's the only one I've been seeing consistently trying to do something with that higher line, as, more contact in the back. I think Santo and Oso got hit, but they're still clean right now. I don't know how. But Shane Abbey's the only one I'm seeing really go up the track willingly in turn number 1. He's making it work at a decent clip right now, as they would maintain 6th place. As yes, this is still not settled, although there's more of a gap in that pack as Mike Muhammad loses another position to Chuck Sweeting, and it's now looking like Bryce Senezek's the one holding up about 6 cars.
And that's Garrett Grant to the inside, trying to get around him. Going to be close, though. Did not have a good turn 3. Going to try and get it back on the exit of the turn, but see if the 09 and 78 have another run in, because 78 he did not have a good turn 3, and they are closing on him quick.
In the background there, Santo and the 98 of Wilson made a little bit of door-to-door contact up ahead of them. Up ahead of them, Garrett Grant cutting over the nose of Michael Muhammad. Some great action here. These guys are racing for 25th, and they're absolutely going out of here.
Oh, Muhammad had a big lift there. He's going to lose a lot of positions. Actually, he's going to get a bump from his friend, the 09 to Senezek. Well, I'm sure that was a friendly tap, of course, guys.
And Philip York on the apron slowing down. Not sure what's up with the 97.
He had an issue out of turn 3.
Santo just threaded the needle in between Muhammad and Senezek. I'm not sure how that happened, but great piece of driving from these guys in the back. And so got blinking. Muhammad blinking. They're going to touch in the middle of 3. No, they're going to... How are they doing this?
I beat me as though got pass for second.
Whoa.
He hit the wall.
Yep, he hit the wall again. I was about to say there's a change for second. Ryan Hart's chased down Cameron Hearn, who fell way off the pace that lap. As not sure what happened to 67 to lose that much time, but
yeah, this is Hart's getting past him on the straightaway. It almost looks like Cameron Hearn let him by.
Fuel saving, possibly? Oh, we got a car in the wall, and the fence! Forrest Smith is flipped over.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
What
How
in
on
the
earth
world?
does that happen?
I take go off those guys for a second, and there's a car upside down in the catch fence. Let's see what happened here. Paul Irvin to the inside. Oh, that's a hardware failure.
Yeah, that has to be a hardware failure. How does he flip here, though? Does he just ramp the wall? Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, that's not how physics work.
Oh, it's not?
I mean, I don't think so.
Well,
there's only one way to find out.
We're not at Rockingham.
Yeah, that is
I may have been like a display disconnect. Like he probably just couldn't see where he was going.
Well, the wheel was turned right.
Because the wheel was turned, and then him go upside down as the camera stays upright.
Yeah, that almost. Whenever I see a hardware failure, if the wheel ever disconnects, it usually goes all 2 to 3 pedals full on, and the wheel turns left, not right. So I'm really not sure.
It's probably he lost like his screen, like he couldn't see where he was going, I think, and then just put it right into the wall so that way he stayed out of people's way, which is usually the nice way to go about that. But unfortunately, it's going to be temporary end to his race. See if he can get back in there. The car isn't too terrible, but he's between the toe and the damage might take him a little while. So Forrest Smith going to be one of the first guys out in 37th. Meanwhile, got that caution coming out lap 14. So a nice opening green flag run for a lot of these drivers. And to no surprise, the EOL is going go to Forrest Smith.
Adding insult to injury.
I think, yeah, no surprises there. But so it's going to be James Scully leading down Ryan Hart. So we saw Hart's for a split second. We saw him get past Cameron Hearn. And we were talking about it before. How do we think these guys are doing with fuel? Because I think that they might be obviously trying to do one stop, but were they able to make it to that lap 35?
It would have been tough. I mean, Cameron Hearn must have been thinking to do something like that because lap 11 here on a 55.6, and then 2 laps after that, he was half a second off that. So I think he must have been thinking he was going to try to cut that stop out of it, but obviously he's not going to get the chance to do that. And on top of that, he lost his runner-up position, which is a tough pill to swallow for him, as everyone's going to make sure fuel isn't a problem. Got to be careful. Don't want to hit on pit road. We've seen a lot of contact on pit road this year, and Alex Weaver missing your stall is another
Ryan Hartz went through his stall. He is still struggling to get back in. Finally got in. That cost him like 5 seconds, so he's going to lose a ton of spots on pit lane. And that's unfortunate after he made all that work to get up to second.
I was about to say, it's hard to make your stall when everyone's going in at the same time, and that's a product of that. Is Skyoli easily out first because of that. Then Hearn, Bell, Marple, and Furnace, and
he's back to 9th.
Yeah, 3's all the way back to 9th. Greg Mitchell gets out 10th. I'm surprised. I don't think we had any contact on pit road, so 36 drivers get on and on pretty well.
Actually looking at Ryan Hart, there's some damage to the right side of that car, guys.
Oh, there's a lot of front-end damage.
Yeah, I'm wondering where he got Connor, if you can go back and check, was that under caution, or... Because I don't remember...
entering pit road. That must have been entering pit road. Did he hit the 7?
He got close to the 7 on the entry. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it or not, but it was definitely kind of close.
Let's see. This is the only place I would think you'd make contact with someone. And obviously, Skyler's going to speed up to try to get a gap. Maybe. Doesn't really. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
How's Skyoli looking? 7. Back to 7 looks pretty clean.
Yeah, so Ron Hart's getting the worst end of that. It's a bit unfortunate for him, but we'll continue out there. We'll see how much that damage will affect him. I don't think it should. That looked like a pretty light hit. I'm just surprised at how much visual damage there is for that light of a hit on his car, but regardless. But we'll give a shout out to Simrat Market. We've seen a few Simrat Market replays tonight so far. Race fans, be sure to visit simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused out on the racetrack. That's simratmarket.com. Let's get the 1 to green here with no cars a lap down, except for Forrest Smith, who's still in the pit lane. Get the field doubled up and get ready to go back racing.
So that's the contact with the 3 is just another ad for a new damage model on Xfinity cars.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, right? Because I would have thought the Xfinity / Pro Series cars would have gotten the new damage model before the trucks, but looks like the trucks got the treatment first. But I'm hoping that means that we're going to get it for these cars soon.
I think it's all going to revolve around the Pro Series model because round 2 is starting soon, so they put new damage model on the trucks, and hopefully that's the case when the Pro Series rolls around in the winter. Maybe we'll have a new damage model for Xfinity cars then. One can hope, that's for sure.
One can definitely hope, but so far so good in this race. We saw the leaders mostly get themselves sorted out and situated, a lot of the action occurring pretty much from 15th and 20th on back. So we saw a lot of the scrapping go, and where we saw that incident occur from. But leaders now, we definitely know that we thought that these guys might be close on fuel with making a one-stop happen. Now they should be definitely good to make it on one more stop till the end. So I think we might see these guys be a lot more aggressive here, guys. Will we start seeing some more cautions?
If we're going to start seeing more cautions, I don't think it's going to be here. I think it's going to be if we get a second one. I think if we get a second caution, I think the floodgates might open. But we'll just have to wait and see. I think all our picks are still doing well. I know the 3 has some damage, but I still think he's capable of winning. But I really thought one of you two, after I didn't pick the 7, would pick him, but no one did.
Yeah, it's the boring option. It's like
True.
picking Jake Nichols last season. Well, we'll see, though. James Scully, he is doing very well so far, and we'll jump out of the gun as we go back green here at Pocono.
Ooh, blocking's already happened. That's Therian all the way down to the bottom trying to make it 3. Mason Kane put a big block on him as...
That's not going to work.
Oh, that is really not going to work as Furness, Hearn side by side. Matthew Bell gets the runner position away. Has almost contact between Hearn and
And a wreck in the
man.
background. Philip York hard into the wall, and the caution's going to come back out.
No,
Okay, there it is. Wow, that took a while.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe cautions will breed cautions. What in the world happened there?
Saw Philip York immediately get into the wall, so we'll take back a look and see if that started with him or not.
He's on the top. Gak Joan in the middle. Durham on the bottom. Oh, Durham hit the apron and he comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a lot of hard hits. Cochran got some of the worst of it there.
Oh, yeah, he got a really solid hit in the wall. Took a few replays here. Try to get a decent angle here from the grandstand to see the initial contact. Look at the 8 and the 1. And right there, that's where he gets turned around.
Cochran just ran out of room. James Cooey get through there unscathed? I don't know if he did, but that would have been close if he didn't.
Riding on board now with the 4 Matthew Cochran.
Ooh, he got hit from the rear and he almost got through it.
I think I saw Bryce Senizak escape through, so I think he might have been. I think he might have been the one that sent the 4 round.
Front end definitely dinged up, but I think Senizak will be good to continue. Muhammad was there too, as he did not hit the 4. He actually did get through unscathed. Oh, we saw those bumps last night on Monday night. Coughlin in the Shibu hit him hard, and it spun him out, cost him the lucky dog, and it almost cost the 09 a car.
I'm trying to see who's at the 24 of Coey. I think he got an interesting view of this. Take a look and see. Oh, he was all the way in the back, so he saw all of this.
Oh, he was in the right place. What are you talking about? Who hit the... I don't know who hit. Oh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
right there too.
That was better than I thought. That was incredible.
2 Code Brown moments in one rack.
Yeah.
The scene started.
2 pairs of pants?
I guess so here, but we're under caution. You see a few guys in the background coming to pit lane. Everyone pretty much staying out after just having that. Oh, Sandra Santo making an aggressive late pit decision, deciding not to pit.
He faked everyone 28th on back out.
And we're under caution immediately here. So Scioli, Bell, Hearn, not much change here, except for Bell, actually. Bell went up to 2nd place after getting a decent jump, falling in behind James Scioli. So Hearn back to 3rd. And then Ryan Hart's actually up to 6th. He got a decent few, only really 1 corner, but went from 9th to 6th. So pretty decent jump for the 3.
All depends on the lane you get in. It looked like the top lane really did not go. Hearn had a bad start, and that kind of hurt everyone else. And if you restart on the bottom, he made up some positions. And Hart's, as you said, made up 3. So that definitely helped us climb back up through the field. Shane Abbey lost out. He's 8th. Mason Kane into the top 10. Greg Mitchell, he's been pretty much hovering around the top 10 all night. I don't know if that's a new livery or not. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of red on this 2 machine, but it looks quite nice.
These caution laps are agonizingly long.
Well, at least it's a lot nicer since iRacing added the short caution. I forgot what the actual name of the option is, but where you basically can take out a pace lap. It used to be a lot worse.
At least we paced 75 miles an hour here. Talladega, for the longest time, it was 65, and now I think they upped it to 70, which is not enough of a help.
Still feels like forever.
Well, it's still 2 minutes, so it is forever. You're definitely correct on that. So I think we'll get 1 to green here. Last time was 2 to green, just like Cup, so we'll get the 1 to green here, and Skyler will probably pick the bottom. No reason to pick the top, unless you have a teammate up there, which I don't believe he does. He's still got a number of cars running. Matthew Cochran's probably going to be out. He took probably the worst hit of all, except maybe Philip York, as Gak Joan, Durham, York try to get their damage repaired, as Paul Irvin will be out of the race as well.
Michael Muhammad sliding out of turn 3 in the background. He's
hustling. He is hustling to get out around.
Oh, don't you hustle. There's still plenty of time.
These guys work their way on through. Any surprises from any of the drivers we're seeing near the top of the order? I would like to give an accurate report, but of guys that started further back. But it shows here that, according to my screen, that Cameron Hearn started in 29th and John Furnace started in 31st.
There's not many big movers. Slaughter's up 13th and 9th. Biggest mover I see in the top 20, Jordan D. Martin started 27th, is up to 16th. It's a good climb for that 17 car. Everyone else has pretty much stayed in the top 10 who started in the top 10. The only one, pretty much everyone who started top 10 is top 10, except, trying to see if there was anyone. Just Shane Therian, who started 10th, is back to 14th. Ed Robertson's up 6 positions. Garrett Grant's up 9. Ryan Swan's 36th to 22nd after he didn't get a time down. So, kind of characteristic of Pocono. It's kind of hard to get moving whenever we get spread out. It's easy to get spread out here, which means it's hard to gain a lot of positions. So not too surprising to see not many big movers.
Boy, all right. Well, have to see how this one goes because they fanned out to almost every single lane that they could on the front stretch. And then they tried to go in three-way. It worked for the most part, but I'd probably expect to see them go 3 wide, 4 wide going into turn 1.
I mean, hey, they pave about 11, cars worth of space on the front straightaway. It's very tempting for a lot of drivers to make it 3, 4, even 5 wide, but it all funnels down to one part in turn 1, and that's where we see some chaos ensue. We'll see if chaos will ensue on this restart as we go back green here at Pocono. And already some jockeying for position for second place. Cameron Hearn versus Matthew Bell. There's Justin Munsell all the way to the inside, 3 wide, into turn 1 again.
Ooh, didn't work last time near the back. We'll see if it works out better at the front as well, as Matthew Bell's going to get a good run. Whoa, we might see. Oh, there's a big crash!
Oh,
Greg Mitchell, Rabel, Robertson, Martin,
the big
Weaver.
And they're still wrecking.
That's the big one for sure.
Oh,
and they're
God.
still
Stretch
wrecking.
becomes a
Just got
junkyard.
flung back. He got flung back into the traffic. They're still touching back there.
As we said, the entire track getting blocked, and we are under caution again.
It is hard to block the track at Pocono. I've never seen the track blocked at Pocono, but it was. We'll get a good replay here. It started with Greg Mitchell.
I'm trying to see if it's going to be hard. I don't really have a camera around that part of the track where he got turned, because we normally don't see a wreck happen that far back, but it looks like he just got too close to Shane Terry, and it seemed that set everyone off.
And it literally blocked the track. Santo. Then he came back up the track with Coey, who didn't avoid this one. Try
to get a view from up above. This will be a good indicator. There you see in the background 3 wide with Shane Terry, 27 Travis Beckner gets hit, and then just clips into the 38. And there, whoa, man! Someone stopped immediately into the wall.
That was Ed Robertson. I think the 64 got flung. There's Michael Muhammad. He's upset about.
Did he get flung into the woods?
I don't think so. He got flung into the pack, I think. We'll see if he had anywhere to go. Shouldn't see that many people pit. Oh, wow!
Off the end of that wall and just flung him back out.
Got aboard with Michael Muhammad and see what he saw.
He's not happy with James Coey about braking, I think. So I don't know if we'll get to see that, because Coey is likely behind him. We'll see what he sees. You'll probably see the track get blocked.
Oh, he did a pretty solid job, and then in behind. Where did James Coey even come in? Was he ahead of him?
He was ahead of him, actually. You know what he was? Because the 78 was repairing damage, and the 24 was.
Coey had it avoided, and he just got flung, like he got hit abruptly and flung back in.
Muhammad's upset. He's saying that the 24 just full throttled into him.
Oh, so he's behind him right here. There's 78. He went to the left, went through there, avoided. Ooh. I mean, he was trying to make his way on through.
There's nothing malicious there.
It's
not failing at avoiding a wreck is nothing to be mad about. It is what it is.
We missed anybody else.
Shane Therian brings almost everyone behind him in, so we'll have differing strategies. Wow, that was...
Philip York getting on the binders.
That was a pretty good job. Still damage, but a lot less damage than others.
Do one final ride on board with Steve Durham, who is around the back of the field.
He got the EOL.
Case guys you can see on the inside coming nearly to a halt. And And then him trying to work his way on through the carnage.
I mean, like I said,
A little bit of contact with Chuck Sweeting there at the end.
well, like I said, Hunter, I don't think I've ever seen a track blocker at Pocono. It is, 6, 7, 8 lanes wide, so it's hard to imagine that happened, but that took out probably nearly half the field there.
The only thing I can think of close to real-life Pocono being blocked was 2014 when Tony Stewart was on top of, I think it was Paul Menard?
Paul Menard, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was started by Hamlin and Vickers. I remember that crash. That was a wild one.
Yeah, they told Tony to drive off. He goes, I can't. I'm on top of someone.
All right, we're going to just take a quick little break, and we'll be right back here for the restart. Welcome back here to the fun at Pocono. Just getting ready for the restart after 2 quick yellows preceding one another, slowing down the pace. But so far, some pretty good racing, especially in the middle of the field for these drivers. And I'm sure for the leaders, it's been they can't wait to get back at it, especially to try to chase on the 7 Scioli.
Yeah, everyone wants their shot at the 7, but there's a lot less drivers who are going to have a shot at him after that. Probably one of the biggest wrecks I've ever seen at Pocono, what the real life for in Sin. That was a wild one. It took out a lot of people who were near the front as well. So still the same players at the front. Hearn, Bell, Furness, and I believe Ryan Hartz has made his way back into the top 5, but a lot of action still to go. We'll see if this can clean things up because of the lack of cars, Hunter.
Indeed. We're coming up on this restart right here. Expect another sort of chaotic restart. This time it might happen in the tunnel turn. Before it happened on the exit of turn 1, halfway down the straightaway. See if they can make it through turn 2.
We'll see what happens here. Green flag back in the air. Already see Brad Slaughter in the background peeling out to try to make it 3 wide, make some spots on the outside lane. He's going to be 3 wide. Shane Abbey and Mason Kane heading off into turn 1. Skyway leading them down. Matthew Bell and Cameron Hearn trying to decide who's going to be the one to tail him.
Gosh, still going 3 wide at the back, but they all make it through cleanly for now as everyone
Santo all the way low.
Oh, wow, he's still coming back up as Greg Mitchell and him came together, but no big wreck yet as they're still going 3 wide back there through the tunnel turn. Clean through the top 20, I'll say at least that, as Santo is still sliding around.
As long as they're going in the right direction, it sounds clean to me. Heading off into turn 3, there you see Matthew Bell chased down with Ryan Hart, who's still trying to make up some positions after his mishap on pit lane, putting him back to 9th. He's up to 5th so far. And behind them, it's David Weisart and Justin Munsell racing out for 6th place.
Scioli breaking draft. Cameron Hearn not willing to follow as Weishart and Munsell go side by side, as almost looking side by side behind, but they won't go side by side. Actually, they will. It's Mason Kane and Shane Abbey as Abbey up the track again. Ryan Swan willingly running sort of a 3rd line and making it work quite nicely as 84 is going to get a big run here as Weishart and Slaughter get side by side as they hold this pack of cars up.
It's going to be interesting little shindig heading into the tunnel turn. Slaughter down low, Weishart outside, but right behind them, Beckner trying to find a way around. Don't know if he's going to make it work through the middle. Slaughter is still going to look to the inside of Weishart for the position heading into 3.
And there goes Brad Slaughter on through, and it looks like Weishart will try to slot in behind, but I'm sure Travis Beckner would like to change that and prevent him from doing so.
Oh, whoa, Swan. Whoa. Swan just tapped the wall, nearly climbed it coming out of turn 3. Got a little too close to that outside wall, and I was going to pay the price for it.
Here we are at Rockingham. That's twice, but he got away with it. The car looks okay. If he keeps going that high, it's not going to be okay. That is way up the track, as he's really hoping on that line to get rubbered in, but I don't think it's going to happen as Fambro gets in the back bumper of Shane Abbey.
He's going to be the only one rubbering it in, as the 6 of Munsell going to look low on Hart's heading into 2 for 5th. Going to be very close with the wall. Looks like everyone gets through okay. And Scioli's still 6 car length advantage over Hearn, with Furness and Bell still close nose and tail for 3rd. Oh, was there a car in the wall back there? Someone just smacked the wall coming out of 2?
Could not see, but I think it was Chris Rabel. He had a crash as they weaved down the front straightaway, but Chris Rabel got something bad through that happened in a tunnel turn as he slowly gets back up.
He is way slowing off the pace. See what happened to him. A lot of damage to that car. Ooh, got into Forrest Smith. Went sideways and wasn't quite able to hold on to it. Nope. Hit a bump into the wall.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Forrest Smith was back on track, which is good to see. Unfortunately, came together with Chris Rabel. So Rabel able to get that going. We stay green as the battle continues for 5th, as Hartz is just fiercely trying to hold up Munsell. Maybe a losing battle because that 6 looks a tick faster right now, as Scioli once again getting away with the lead. Cameron Hearn's not getting away with 2nd quite as easily. John Furness is showing up to the party.
Also showing up, or trying to show up, is the 9 of Slaughter and the 33 of Weishart. They were actually hoping for that battle to go another lap more, because they've been catching the 3 and the 6, and now they're just running single file for a majority of this pack.
Continuously running single file, just trying to tick off the laps and just find their groove, but they're really close together despite being single file. Just waiting for the moment to strike. Speaking of which, there's Justin Munsell trying to make a move again on the 3. Ryan Hart's putting up a formidable defense, but like you said, Connor, is it a feasible battle? Is it worth just letting the 6 roll on by and just kind of running in behind, because they are starting to lose time to the 4 drivers up ahead? Bell, Furness, and Hearn are breaking away, as well as Scioli, who was almost a second clear of 2nd.
I think Hartz would be better off letting him by, but I don't think he's going to do that, because I could see from his perspective, if he lets one by, he's got 5 other drivers right behind, and Slaughter all the way back to Fambro and even Mason Kane. So he could lose a lot of positions if he loses this one. So I get him not giving up this position. I probably wouldn't either. But I think you got to think that front end damage is worse than it maybe looks, because at least through turn 1, it looks like he's really struggling badly.
Everyone else has seemed to settle in for the most part. Shane Therian running 18th on the track. There's Jeffrey Wilson, the 98. I haven't talked too much about him. Kind of just navigating his way through, like you said, Finian, logging laps in, just trying to find a groove, and going to get closer to the bumper of the 88 of Anna Sogok. Even thought about looking for the position, but to think better of it.
So here comes Slaughter. He's going to have a look here.
Yeah, there's Justin Munsell who's side by side with the 3. He's going to throw it down to the inside into turn 3. He's going to door Ryan Hartz. And it looks like he's just going to keep off of him, give him just enough room to work with. But like you mentioned, Connor, Brad Slaughter waiting in the wings, trying to find a way on by, and actually might get a run on the 6 here with some tow from Hartz up ahead.
This is going to be great for Hartz if the 6 doesn't get back inside, but he will get back inside, as Slaughter's just got to have to choose who he wants to fight here, as Hartz goes way up the track. I don't think he's going to defend from Munsell this time, as the 6 is going to clear, and now it's Hartz and Slaughter side by side, as Weishart and Beckner go side by side, as Hartz has no choice but to stay in behind the 6.
Going to give it a little bit of a push heading into the tunnel turn. So you see the damage on the 3 of Hartz, and he's got Slaughter, he's got Weishart looking in the mirror, but he's got a run on Munsell. Going to head into turn 3, just going to continue to push him in.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to try to attempt to re-overtake the number 6, so Munsell will barely hold on a 5th at the moment. So it continues to try to chase him on down. In behind, Shane Abbey getting close to the walls. He's trying to fight with 27 of Travis Beckner, and Mason Kane hanging just outside the top 10, 11th.
Also, Colin Fambro there on 12, so these four are right close to each other. They're kind of off the back bumper of the 33 as Abby up the track again, hits those bumps again, but he's kind of been up there on his own a lot of the night, but not going to work well as Beckner gets clear, but he will get the run. Most likely clear Mason came back, although Beckner's trying to help the 31 out and give him some draft. Not going to be enough.
Almost identical paint schemes. If it weren't for the white on Beckner's car, you could say that they'd be identical, but they're both filing in just fine, trying to get their groove. Kane actually going to look to the inside of Shane Abbey for the 10th spot heading into turn 3. Lost 5 positions in the point standings a race ago, because we've been on an off week, but still going to look for the 10th spot, trying to make up as much ground as possible and get back in the postseason hunt.
You can see that Beckner again giving some slipstream to the 31, trying to help him out to keep so that way he can keep more of a gap to both of them in behind. And it looks like Kane will try to get his way on through up ahead of them, though. Battle's starting to heat up as Slaughter gets very close to the quarter panel of Ryan Hartz.
I was about to point that out. Slaughter and Hartz kind of went weaving down the straightaway. I think Ryan Hartz was trying to block the 9 machine, but Slaughter forced his way low, and they almost made contact out of turn number 1. So 3 is once again trying to defend from a position that might be impossible to defend for a full tire run here, but he's going to give it his best shot as the 9's probably not going to be as patient as Justin Munsell was.
No, I don't think he'll be, because he's got 33 of Slaughter close behind him. Beckner has closed in on this as well, trying to make a 3-horse race for the position, but Hartz has a manageable gap for now, although the 33 and 9 looks like they're going to be close to tandem drafting heading into turn 1.
It looks like Weiser tries to have a look to the inside of of Brad Slaughter. Can't quite get on through. Will stay tucked in behind at the moment. And for a lot of these guys, it's a matter of just choosing their battles. You can see up ahead, James Scully is trying to prevent himself from giving a draft to Cameron Hearn. Whoa, I saw, I think, either Jeffrey Wilson or Ryan Swan almost getting to the wall. A little bit further back.
Poor Smith got called to the hauler post-race. I'm assuming it's for that contact. So there was a lot of people who did the hauler on Monday night as well. I don't even know what the count was for Martinsville on Tuesday night, but just add it to the list, I would say.
Indeed, as a little further back here, Tom Bourne, Justin Shogak battling for position. There you see that is the 50 of Casey Lakatos right behind them as well. Trying to fan out and break up the draft, but for the meantime, Cameron Hearn's actually closed the gap in quite a bit on Skyley. Not sure if Skyley's preserving his tires or if 67 is just on the ball.
Taking a look at their previous lap times, Cameron Hearn, it was a 55.8, and for Skyley, a 56, pretty much a 56 flat. So 0.2 of a second looks like what Cameron Hearn's been chipping off. And yeah, I don't know if it would be for fuel. I'd be kind of surprised if it was for fuel at this point, because I would have thought with that first pit stop they made, they should be good to at least go on one more stop. I'm just curious if Skyley maybe pushed too hard.
That would be a surprise mistake. He's usually not one to do that. I don't think this is fuel related, but if we hear people clutching and coasting, we'll see as 67 Hearn this time not willing to follow his draft as he just loses a little bit of time that time by, so maybe 7 starting to get on the throttle a little bit more as they should be good with one more stop regardless. There's no way you go no stops, and 2 stops I think would lose you too much time, so I think this is just purely tire saving. I think Skyoli saw he had maybe a little bit too big of a lead and wanted to make sure he had tires to defend the 67 in case Hearn was saving a little bit better.
See, Skyley's trying to break up the draft, but it's not really playing too much of an effect as top 4 are within a second of each other. Really, any one of these guys can win it, but going to be tough to get around the 7, but they are slowly making up ground, but like they always say, catching's one thing, passing's another, and only time will tell if positions will be swapped inside the top 4. In the meantime, Munsell's still holding on to 5th. Hartz is still holding on to 6th. Slaughter has struggled to get around the 3.
And riding on board with Matthew Bell, heard him shifting. Haven't heard a whole lot of people shifting around from what I've heard, but he's definitely dropping it a gear in turn 3 to get, and even in turn 1 you hear him drop a gear there. Burness looks like he's sitting in 4th. Cameron Hearn is shifting. James Scully couldn't quite hear of that, but Hearn is pushing, trying to catch the number 7 all over his bumper here. We might see a pass for the lead soon.
This is as close as anyone's been to Skyly all night long. It's really as close as anyone's been to him in the last month in the Pro Series. As close to the bumper as you'll get to the 7, just close enough so you can see that. Use code Skyly at checkout, $7 off any order from rickshotSauce.com. It's a code you want to see because it means you're close to finally dethroning him from the lead. It's been so hard to beat this 7 car this season. Cameron Hearn's one of them to do it this season. He's trying to do it again.
Yeah, looking to be the other multi-winner in the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. Oh, someone else.
Colin Fambro. Interesting.
Fambro.
That is earlier than I thought we would see anyone.
Yeah, I think I would think you'd be able to make it from here to the end, right? Because we're past halfway. You got 30 laps to go.
Yeah, but would you even attempt doing fuel mileage? You'd have to bank on this to go caution-free the rest of the way, or bank on an early yellow to come out, I guess, because this track is unique into where you can pit and not lose a lap under green, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah,
wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wouldn't be the call I would make, but then again, I'm a commentator and a race strategist, so we'll see how it plays out for them. I would think you want to go a little bit more because these guys have been going their 23 laps on this set of tires. A lot of those laps were under caution. Also, want to point out, so there were quite a few were under caution, not at race speed. So the other guys are gonna have to go 30 laps on their tires under green flag conditions, assuming this race finishes under green. So that's gonna be kind of quite a bit to push them on compared to these guys who presumably are going to go maybe another 5 to 10 laps, I would think, before they come down.
Wow, Hearn got really close there. I wonder if they're thinking 2 stops, 2 sets of tires would be faster, but I just don't think that's the case. But that's not strategy's not a thing here. This is all purely racing as Cameron Hearn, he is looking to put pressure on James Skyly right now through the tunnel turn.
Trying to set him up for turn 3 or maybe the exit of turn 3. He's closed the gap a lot. Furnace and Bell have stayed about the same distance, but Hearn is definitely trying to push an envelope from the 7 to Scioli. Right behind them, though, Munsell, well, he was side by side with someone.
That was
Santo on fresh tires.
Yeah. Well, this will be a good key to look at how new tires compare to old tires at Pocono.
The weaving's getting real here. Look at Scioli. He's feeling some pressure, I think, for sure here.
Talking about IndyCar racing here, weaving like an IndyCar down the front straightaway, just trying to break the slipstream, make sure Cameron Hearn doesn't get any sort of advantage. But I definitely think the 7, like you mentioned, Connor, is starting to feel that pressure as he goes down to the inside. He's just trying to hold off as much as possible. Well, it's starting to look like that 67, at least at the moment, might have a faster car.
But it's really all going to come down to who comes to pit road first. I think Cameron Hearn right now, as he starts to lose a little bit of time here, he's in a scenario where if he even undercuts Skyly by 1 lap, he's going to get that lead. But Skyly will also have the choice to go overcut and just get way fresher tires and maybe pass the 67 back that way. So Hearn's going to have to make a decision. Does he want to undercut and get the lead or make sure he has fresher tires? It's really going to be up to him at this point, because it's really these 2 for the lead right now. John Furness is lurking. He's not quite there.
Not quite, and they're going to catch the lap car of Jacob Hudson, but I think he'll pull to the side and let them race it out. But when do you pit if you're anyone inside this top 5?
That's a great question. Do you want to be the first one to come on down? I would think you would want to try to beat your competitors down. Can help make that pass with some fresher tires. Because you can see in the background, Andrew Santo, he's been making some pretty decent work from a lot of these guys. And just to give you an idea of how quick of work he's doing, last lap 55.9. That's a bit in some traffic, and Skyler at 56.4. So you can make up quite a bit of time.
Oh, he just wrecked John
Furness! Oh no!
Oh no, does he hold on to it? He does.
Oh, look out!
Oh, Munsell! Oh my gosh!
Oh, here comes Ryan Hartz through the middle.
Oh, Beckner almost smacked into the back of someone as well.
Gosh.
That was...
You cannot do that when you're on fresher tires with a lap car with the leaders. That cannot happen. And Furness might have gotten away damage-free to hurt Justin Munsell more in the grand scheme of things, but Furness is not going to be happy about that. We'll see on the replay here.
You can see the closing at the 10, just mistimed it, went to the outside too late, turned the 28, and then coming off of turn 3, Munsell thought he was that Furness is gonna go high, and then Ryan Hartz went through the middle.
Back there, Beckner nearly ran into the back of Hudson because he was checking up for that as well.
He did run in the back of him. He has severe front end damage, so he was not able to avoid the 96. That was the 96 just trying to get out of the way, but he couldn't do so. That is pretty bad mistake to make, as he's going to get on the outside of Cameron Hearn, as Hearn kind of put him in the wall there and said, no, you're not doing that to me, as a lot of the leaders just pit. Slaughter, Weishart, and Furnace all come down, and also Mason Kane.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would be smart to get out of this, especially with a lot of lap traffic coming with faster tires. It might be a good idea, especially after a lot of them just seeing what happened, to come on down and get the fresh tires before you get run over.
And Santo...
I was going to say, Connor, we got one more person going to the hauler after this race, and
yeah,
like Santo might be going up there.
He just got black flagged, as a matter of fact. So
okay,
they are not happy with how he's racing the leaders, because Cameron Hearn just lost over a second, or not over a second, but close to a second, because Santo got to his right rear out of turn 3 and even hit him a little bit. Santo hit the wall, but Hearn had to lift hard, and now he's really at a bad spot where he might have to pit now.
Taking a look at what happened, I think it was right here, right?
Yep, and both leaders just pit, so Scott, he couldn't beat Skyler pit road. We'll see here. Yeah, it's Santo trying to get to his right rear, and Hearn has to lift. I don't know. But all the leaders just came down. Skyler, Hearn, Santo actually followed them both down, and Beckner comes down as well. So
are they gonna park him, or are they gonna pull them alive?
Drive-through. I think it's a drive-through because they cleared it. So that is a drive-through for him, but scheduled pit stops for the top 3.
Let's see, don't make a mistake now, guys. Whoa, you see Travis Beckner. Speaking of which, Beckner is gonna probably lose a little bit of time there, but both the leaders coming into pit lane.
Who was that just appeared?
Matthew Bell and Reinhardt staying out there battling it out.
Whose car was that just appeared in the pits?
Don't know, but look at the run Hearn's gonna have. He almost got the Skyoli on exit, but the 67 gained a lot of ground. As you can see right there, they're going to be bumper to bumper out of pits, and Bryce Slaughter Jr. is just not going to have enough momentum to get to them.
You can see him in the background at turn 1.
They might. They're not all the way up to speed yet. Tires aren't warm yet, but this could bring the 9 into the mix.
See how it plays out up ahead of them. There's Colin Fambry, who came in really early. He's going to be off the pace as soon as they really get up the temperature, and his tires start to wear out, so he will drop back to these 2 drivers. But now the 7 and the 67, fresh tires. Thing for Cameron Hearn, you got to push now and try to get past the 7. I would think. I don't think it's really much worth in saving the tires, because there's not a whole lot of laps remaining. We've got under 25 laps to go.
Yeah, I think you got to go now if you can, yeah, there's really nothing else you can do at this point. That was your pit stop. You had a chance to undercut him, but he didn't really get the opportunity to. So I don't think, if he doesn't get him on a short run, I think he won't get him at all. He was fast. He was pushing with the 7 there, but he was never in a situation where he could really make a legit attempt at a pass with a lead. So I think he's got to do it on fresh tires right now, and he's got to do it, more importantly, before they get the Fambro.
Here we go, battle for the actual lead of the race. 3 in the 43. Hart, Matthew Bell, they've yet to come down pit lane, as well as Shane Abbey, Justin Isogak, Tom Bourne, Casey Lakatos, Bryce Senizak. They've yet to make their final pit stop of the race.
Shane Therian and Chuck Sweeting just came down, so that leaves 7 on track, as Bell and Hart's kind of swapping back and forth here over the last few laps. We'll see if they come in this time, as the battle for what we think would be the effective lead is not as close quite yet, as Skyley still has some car lengths over the 67.
Indeed, and those guys that haven't pit yet, they're banking on a caution to come out now, because this would change everything, and I would assume that some of these guys that did come down pit might come back and get fresher set of tires, especially if, like, Hartz, Bell, Abbey, and Sogok, if they stay out another 5 laps and then the caution comes out right before they pit, then that's going to bring everyone else back down pit.
It's a bit surprising for me to try to bet on a caution coming out, because I think we've seen that, based on the first run, once these guys get separated out, the race should go pretty green. Oh, I say that as Michael Muhammados got turned by James Skyle. He was trying to work his way on by, and here comes that allowed Cameron Hearn to close way up.
Oh, he's got a run to potentially get him here. He might have a shot into 1 here with how much he closed up. Just not enough to get alongside, but they're closing in on the 18. It's really a race to who gets past Fambro first, as they're both racing for it.
And Scioli keeps breaking down low to break up the draft. Hearn's not budging at all. He hasn't done that once yet, where you'll see the 7 right there just go a lane or 2 down to break up the draft. Hearn just keeps his line going.
I'm a bit surprised he doesn't try to follow him a little bit. I think he's more concerned of him breaking up his own speed, swerving like that, but I think it would help if he goes down just a little bit, gets really close out of the wall, out of turn 2. There you see Scully still
wouldn't
weaving.
that put more wear on your tires, Connor, if you're swerving on every straightaway trying to break up the draft?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's egregious enough to hurt him that badly. Like, I could guarantee you he's not turning the wheel that much. I say he's going to work around Matthew Cochran here as they get the Fambro. You're swerving, but he's not doing it hard enough. He's not like he's jerking the wheel left and right. He's just lightly doing it as, 67 really missed the corner there, as he's going to lose a lot of time. So I don't think it's hurting Skylink's tires too much, but that will definitely hurt him with what Cameron Hearn did.
Yeah, it's surprising he just kind of missed the corner like that. And we saw him get a little bit tail happy there, but there you saw James Scully getting past Colin Fambro. So Cameron Hearn now up to 10th. Meanwhile, up ahead, Matthew Bell getting past Ryan Hartz. As Hartz comes down to pit lane, he's given up and will come to get his tires out. I'm a bit surprised that these guys waited out so long. I feel like they might have waited out a little bit too long here, so we'll see how it plays out.
Well, he's definitely going to have freshest tires to the end, but he also, excuse me, got distracted. Michael Muhammad's calling for the 10 to park his car. So I'm not sure what happened there, but a lot of weaving happening there. I was going to talk about how the 43 is going to have fresher tires, but you also need to have enough time left in the race to make those tires work. And I'm not sure if he's going to have enough.
No, not one bit, but good thing for the leaders, or Scioli and Hearn, as Matthew Bell comes down pit road. Clear racetrack in front of them for quite a bit of ways.
There's Shane Abbey currently in second. He will take the lead of this race. Justin Sogak still yet to pit. Casey Lakatos as well. And that's pretty much it. We only got 3 drivers out there still running. Just hoping, and a lot of these guys are definitely going to be running the tank out, hoping for a caution to come out, give themselves some good track position. This has actually worked. The strategy's worked out very well for Casey Lakatos so far this season. He's gained a lot of track position, waiting for the caution to come out the right time. So really, as far as statistics are concerned, no reason for him to change it up now.
Yeah, it's like you said. Yeah, it has been working for him, so no reason to change it. As we'll see how it works out this time with bigger track and less laps to go here, as he'll be one of the next in line to pit. Shane Abbey's about 5 seconds up the road from him, as they're on the same strategy. Justin Sogak's part of this as well. Still at least 3 drivers left to pit, as Cameron Hearn still trying to close back in after a mistake entering turn 1, as he is doing so little by little as Shane Abbey hits pit road.
Yeah, just a wee bit, and that's all that Hearn really needs, because still 20 to go. No need to push the issue on tires yet. Maybe with 10 to go or 5 to go, definitely the case. But see, now he's going to follow the tire tracks of the 7. He's weaving just a little bit on the straightaways, trying to bring up that draft. But the 67 still keeping in touch with the 7 Scioli.
And in behind them, it's Brad Slaughter, who will be sitting in third once this whole cycle's out. Callan Fambro still falling down the orbit. David Weiser, you can see, just overtaking the number 18. John Furnace, who I imagine is really annoyed at the moment as the way things have gone, because he looked like he had a top 5, top 3 car, but is now relegated. He should be, I think, around 6th or 5th place when this is sorted out, but had a shot at the win, potentially, had things gone better. Jordan Martin, he's 20 laps on his tires, so he will have to come down to the pit. Justin Muntz, also a driver who didn't benefit well from the car, a few car lengths behind him. Andrew Sancho in the number 10.
Travis Beckner got over the radio saying, beep, beep, get out of the way to Santo. So he is, Travis gets a warning for voice chat, because not a lot of people happy for Andrew Santo tonight for sure, but going back up to this race for the lead, still not for the actual lead, and Sogak Lakatos are running the tank completely dry. They're probably on fumes, as that 67 closes in a little bit more on the entry to turn 1, as it's really down to these two. No one was able to, I'm still surprised, no one was really able to undercut these two and get ahead of them on better tires than Fambro. I thought someone would, but Slaughter, Weishart, they didn't pit quite early enough.
Gap still closing bit by bit between Hearn and Scioli. Coming through the tunnel turn, and especially after that big bobble Hearn had in turn 1, which I think feel like was due to catching the 4 of Cochran at an odd place on the track, but he's closed the gap up almost virtually no distance from before they pit. Well, before the incident with Santo, it's basically about the same gap. And there's Matthew Bell, just recently pitted. Don't know how much ground he's going to make up. Maybe enough for a top 10 run, but still got 17 laps to go for you.
Yeah, he's all the way in 16th, and he will pick up a spot. He's going to pass Jordan Martin up to 15th, but Ryan Hart's also in 12th, so they lost a huge amount of time staying out there. Just only an extra 6 or 7 laps, so that just shows you how much the fresh tires are worth. Let's go back up to our leaders here. Battle for the lead here, 17 laps to go. This is going to get spicy. One of the closer battles on the track as well.
He'll definitely get good. Hearn's an aggressive driver, and if he gets close to the bump over 7, he'll probably lay it to him as close as he can and try to loosen them up. As this battle for the effective lead is soon to be the battle for the actual lead, as top 2 can't stay out much longer. Rabel comes in, Lakatos is going to follow him, and Sogak's still staying out there at least one more lap. He did pit on the last yellow we had. That was all the way back at lap 20, though, so I'm honestly surprised he stretched this 35 laps. It lets me know that I think the one stop was in play if we went green, but that wasn't the case tonight.
Not one bit. It seemed like we were going to have a similar race to Season 3, no yellows, but that was not the case after 14 laps, and oh boy, now we got lap traffic in the way for the leaders in the next handful of laps or so. By the way, Brad Slaughter for run on board with Scally. Slaughter, big winner from that, coming out P3 effectively when the 88 comes down pit road, but possible podium run for for the 9 of Slaughter. 33 of Weishart, just a second behind him, though. So, could see that battle get close over the next handful of laps. We'll have to keep in touch with that.
Definitely have to keep in touch with that as Skyley comes out of turn 3. 14 laps to go at the line. As he comes across the line, want to give a shout out to Rick's Hot Sauce. Race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. rickshotsauce.com, and I'm sure they're happy because their man is on the top again, looking to chase home win number 6 of the season.
Yeah, he's looking pretty strong right now. It's going to be hard to beat him. Track position's key at Pocono as Cameron Hearn's trying his hardest to combat that, but he's just getting too tight off the corners to really build up any sort of run to make a move on the 7, as Justin Sogak is still staying out here, but it's not going to be much longer until A, he has to pit, or B, they pass him anyways, because these two are putting on a heck of a show and they're fast while doing it. As you can see, maybe a little bit of desperation, Hunter, from Cameron Hearn. He's finally starting to consistently follow the 7 of Scioli in his draft escapades.
Yeah, the laps are dwindling a little bit, and the gap is...
Man, he's wiggled there.
No, he did not have a... I couldn't tell if he bobbled the corner or if he's still trying to outside line to get a run down the straightaways, but Hearn's starting to lose time now to the 7.
Yeah, he definitely lost at least a tenth or two by that little bobble. I think just threw it in a little bit too late. He hit the bumps there. I mean, even though this track is repaved, there's still some bumps in the corners, and if you hit them wrong, run off them wrong, it'll send you offline, and especially when you're fighting for every 100th, every 1,000th of a second here, that's going to affect you quite a bit, as we just saw there.
Is definitely not what he needs at this point. Has to be perfect, and that is not being perfect, as that was a big, big loss. There's such a fine line in the entrance to 1 in these Xfinity cars that you have to run.
Yeah, I saw that back there too. Furnace and there was another car there.
Yeah, that was
Hudson.
Yeah, he's just letting them by. He's been off the pace for a while after the big one.
John Vernon's looking to overtake Colin Fambro here. This will put him in 6th place. Should be able to easily get on by. The next car behind him is Justin Munsell, then Ryan Hart. Matthew Bell is back inside the top 10 as he's gone around Shane Terrian, who's out there on older tires.
Hey, at this point, Justin Sogak's like, okay, I'll spin. I'll bring out the yellow. Someone has to do it, but I think he's running out of time. Scioli's getting closer and closer. I would not be surprised if this lap comes in. Yep, there it is. And finally, James Scioli's your leader. Who else is pitting back there? Another one. That's Alex Weaver, lap down.
So Scioli back up to the lead. Cameron Hearn trying to chase him back down. He's gotten close a couple of times, but the laps are winding down in the 67. I gotta say, it looks like he's starting to fall off the pace.
And he was almost hitting the wall there. He's giving it everything he's got. He's shifting so early on the entrance of one. He's kicking the rear out from under it, trying to get any sort of grip he can to throttle up and gain time on Sky Early, but it's just really not working as well, especially with a little bit of dirty air hurting that as well. As he lost a little bit of time last time. It's now 6.5 tenths. He's trying to close a little bit there. Actually closed maybe a tenth there.
I'll say he had a really good tunnel turn compared to the 7, but we'll see how it is on corner exit of 3. That's where the 7's picking it back up.
Fall down the straightaway. 11 laps to go.
Still only like
Now, really, for Cameron Hearn, what can you do? I mean, other than what he's doing, just absolutely chucking the car into the corners.
wait for lap traffic, I would say, and hope that plays a factor. There's not much else he can do at this point. You can see his car's getting tight. He's struggling to really even run in the tracks of Scioli, so he is definitely running out of options as next time by 10 laps of racing to go. He's really, I would say his only hope is Scioli messes up or lap traffic can play a factor. Speaking of lap traffic, Austin Gagjon just nailed the wall out of a tunnel turn, but too far up to play any sort of factor, and Cameron Hearn almost nailed it himself.
Yeah, nearly followed the tire tracks of the 7. He got close to that wall as well, but right here, turn 3, the 7 can just turn off so much better than the 67. And this battle is going to be playing into effect because this is for third, and that means that whoever gets third out of this will be talking to us after the race. So again, it's the fight to talk to the guys in the booth after the race. Most exciting battle on track.
I'm sure these guys would love to talk to us, but only one of them we'll get to. We'll see who it's going to be. Weisert's been closing in on Slaughter about 2 to 3 tenths a second a lap. So that 33's got some solid pace underneath him. The 9 is starting to fall off. Can Brad Slaughter hold on? That's really the big question on really everyone's mind. I'm sure on Weisert's mind to see if he could try to get on through.
I try to see the comparison of pit stops. I think it was around 42 where Weishart pit. And they, honestly, it looks like Slaughter pit around the same time. They both pit around the same time, so even tires, but one took better care of him than the other, it looks like, as Weishart's able to hold the yellow line in 3 so much better, 9 missing the bottom. And he's faster down the straightaway. Don't see any damage on the 9, but he's definitely slower down the straightaway. But obviously, draft plays a factor as here he goes to the inside down the straightaway to make this pass.
Looking for that spot, going in the 133 low, 9 high. And no contest there unless there's a bobble, and it looks like there was just a tad bit. Slaughter not going to have a big enough run to get down low. Going to follow the 33 on, and Weishart moves into third.
There must have been a bobble out of 1 because Cameron Hearn is way far back from Scioli now. It's over a second, 1.2 seconds now.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's kind of that realization sets in that there's probably not much of a chance of you getting back at him. So I think Cameron Hearn's just kind of maybe shifting more into conservative mode, just get the car home. Second place, it's not bad. Obviously, he wants to win, but solid points will be coming towards his name in the 67 machine. Obviously, not exactly what he wanted, but I mean, at some points, only so much you can do, and you definitely don't want to put it in the wall.
No, I definitely don't want to put it in the wall, so I don't think he has, but he's lost a lot of time the last few
He's gotten
laps.
close to putting it in the wall. He's been getting... Oh, Skyler also close to digs, and there's 67 falling in his tire tracks.
And then the 8 has been in the wall with damage, so everyone's pushing hard, even with just 8 laps to go, as still some positions changing hands as some of the guys who stayed out really longer trying to come back through the field. Matthew Bell just got the 8th place, took that away from Justin Munsell, and not too much further up the road is Colin Fambro, who was one of the earliest pitters. I'm surprised he's held up quite well from where he pit from. He's still 7th, but he's got 2 faster drivers right now closing in on him quickly.
Yeah, what position did he come in from before the entire sequence started? I don't know if you could find that out.
I believe it was 12th. He pit about 5 to 10 laps earlier than the rest of the field. Yes, he pit from 12th place, so it could still be a net gain, but it's not going to be 7th. Bell's got a big run out of turn 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a decent amount of time. There's Chuck Sweeting in 12th place coming out of the corner now, so I think he might be able to hold on here. Though his tires definitely probably feel atrocious compared to everyone else now. It's got to suck also just having to let mostly everyone on by. when they get back to you. So there he goes back to 8th. Justin Munsell going to be next. He'll be the next target for the number 6, Justin Munsell.
First thing about this is when lap cars want to pass you, as Philip York, I think, knew what he was doing, and he's going to let that battle play out as naturally as it can. He just lets them go, which is a smart thing to do. As Fambro doesn't have much to fight with, neither does Cameron Hearn, but unlike Hearn, Fambro has to fight at least a little bit here with Munsell and maybe Garrett Grant. Strong one for Garrett Grant. He started 30th tonight, and he's in the top 10 so far.
Oh yeah, he was towards the back half of that gaggle for 25th earlier on, and managed to get his way inside the top 10. See if he can finish it out, and there's the 5.
Yeah, quiet night for him, and you can tell it's quiet because that car is pristine, has not had any damage to it. He's been hanging out, just kind of putting the laps down, and might have a chance to get a 9th here if he catch back up to Fambro. Justin Munsell has finally gotten around the 18th, so Grant will be the next one up on the list for him to try to chase down.
I'll see who else is soldiering through, because there's still a lot of cars out there with damage. Shane Therian, another one of those late pitters, he's up to 11th. Shane Abbey 13th. Beckner with that front end damage hasn't been able to really recover after also missing his stall. He's 14th. Trying to see Justin Sogak, late pitter, up to 17th. He's got a few positions he might get. At least he's actually really following Case Lakatos through, who's 16th, as Cameron Hearn still looking for something to happen. But those late pitters, they might get in. They might not get to the top 15. Oh, they might have Mason Kane hits the wall like that again. But I think it'll work out for Lakatos. But I think it might work out for Sogak too. I'm not sure where he was.
Trying to look here. This might be an interesting battle brewing. We got Brad Slaughter, who's around a 57, almost 57 flat last time by. John Furness went almost 4/10 faster, and then Ryan Hartz went 3/10 faster than Furness. So got 3 guys, and actually Matthew Bell right on his tail track. So we have 4 guys converging on each other here. So the battle for 4th might get pretty interesting here in these closing laps. And I gotta say, this actually worked out a little bit better for the 3 and the 43 than I thought it was going to. I think I still think they probably should have pitted a little earlier, but it's not going to be a bad finish for them.
No, definitely, it's going to work out pretty well. Hartz was 6th before all the pit stops started anyways, so he might still maintain. Bell might get by him, but Gactoon, I think, hit the wall there down the straightaway on accident as he just lets them by. But definitely worth trying for the 3, what he did. He didn't go crazy long. He kind of just went long enough so he'd at least still have some sort of advantage. So still might work out. He could gain a position here. He could lose one, but not a bad strategy whatsoever.
No, not at all. Will be interesting to see if the 43 of Bell will be able to work his way around Hartz, because he's been closing up to that bumper the last 5 laps or so, and those 2 might swap positions, but even before they get to Furness, or if they get to him at all. Yeah, Furness is really closing the gap on the 9 of Slaughter there. He might get around him before this race is over.
Well, I'm sure he's definitely hoping he can catch Brad Slaughter before Hartz and Bell get to him, because then at least that'll be a little bit of a buffer so he can try to drive away. You can see all of them getting closer and closer to one another here. Up ahead, not missing much for the lead. Cameron Hearn now almost 2.5, almost 3 seconds back. He's really slow off from turn 1. Not sure if something happened. Back.
Oh, here goes Hartz. So it's like Hartz is just going to let Matthew Bell by here, as we'll get a look at that later. But looks like Cameron Hearn, it looks like the right front's giving out a little bit. He gave it everything, and now he's just on damage control.
Whoa, Hartz!
boy.
And Matthew Bell in the wall off of turn 2. So as soon as the 43 let the 3 on by, or sorry, other way around. As soon as Hartz let the 43 on by, Bell got in the wall and is going to take that spot back. I'm surprised he let him on by. I would have continued to try to chase him down, because now it's going to be harder for them to try to catch the 28, and he's catching the 9. It's heating up here 2 laps ago, guys.
I don't think they're getting the 28 now. I bet Hartz is thinking, man, why did I do that? I should have just raced him. There's nothing he can do about it now, but looks like the battle's only for 4th at this point, as the 28's all over Slaughter.
Man, there's times I really think Hartz is way too nice. He's way too
Oh,
Big
Bell is
slide.
still, he's dirt checking it now.
He's trying his best.
Just like Furness, here he comes, down low.
Gonna have a look, gonna throw it into the corner into turn 2. Brad Slaughter, not much he can do at this point in the going. And 20 will make it off the corner, and I don't think Slaughter really has much left. I don't think he'll try to attempt a dive into turn 3 because I think he knows he can't stick.
Yeah, at this time, the tires are definitely not going to stick, so no reason to really try it. Running out of time in this race. Speaking of that, Skyler's already taken a white flag. Cameron Hearn's already put good win in the chat, but still, anything can happen, even with a 4-second lead, as Hearn's really falling off the pace. He might even have a tire going down.
After what happened to Larson at Pocono, I don't take any of this. It ain't done yet.
Don't remind me.
I was going to say, as long as there's cars up ahead of him, I don't think he'll catch any lap cars. There's 3 of them between himself and Cameron Hearn. Hearn falling back to 4 seconds now as James Scully works his way through the tunnel turn number 2. For James Scully, we've started 8 races this season so far, and out of all of them, if he can make it through the final corner, which it looks like he will without any incident, James Scully will have taken 6 victories out of 8 races. The man is on a roll. The Rick's Hot Sauce machine is going to come home and win here at Pocono.
It does not get much more dominant than that. He led definitely the majority as Hearn comes home. Probably a disappointing second. Weishart third. Furness gets by Slaughter for 4th. And then Hartz and Bell in that order. And it's a ways back to Grant and Justin Munsell. Garrett Grant gets a 9th. Solid run for him as Shane Therian rounds out the top 10. Fambro dropped to 11th.
Taking a look at the other finishes coming across the line. But yeah, for James Scully right there, you saw it for a second there. 56 laps led of 70. That means that only 14 other laps were led by a bunch of other different drivers. I think it's hard to say that he didn't earn this one or any of the other races he's won this season so far. He is absolutely on a roll.
There are not many people who are going to be able to stop him come playoff time. He is in a league of his own, that's for sure. And he sweeps. It's another sweep. He already swept the full week this season, but he didn't win trucks. But he does sweep Pocono. Wins Monday, wins Thursday. So that's as good as it gets.
He does, and everyone giving congratulatory bumps to the 7. Didn't ruffle any feathers to do it. That car was actually pretty much in pristine condition until, I guess, the bump from the 33 of Weiser there at the end. But gonna line it up there on the apron with the checkered flag pattern. And earned it to light it up here on the front straightaway. And as he does that, let's go through your finishing order. James Scully, of course, taking the win. Cameron Hearn falling off to 4.5 seconds towards the end of that. David Weiser finishing in 3rd. And John Furness charging up just to pass Brad Slaughter towards the end. And then Ryan Hart's going to finish just outside it in 6th with Matthew Bell in 7th. Munsell 8th, and I'm sure he's going to be disappointed after he had a potential solid top 5 run. Garrett Grant in 9th, and Shane Therian just poking his head inside the top 10.
And Therian had a good recovery there. He stayed in the top 10 and stuck it out. Fambro did in that one spot from that undercut, so not as big as it could have been. But he does get a position ahead of Chuck Sweeting. Didn't talk about him much. He gets the 12th. Abby and Beckner are 2 drivers who could have had much better finishes, but didn't work out for them. 13th and 14th. Anna Sogak on those fresh tires got all the way up in the top 15. Just barely got by Mason Kane. Then Case Lakatis on the same strategy, 17th. And Senesac Swan and Tom Bourne, 3 drivers who kind of never could get anything going tonight, Hunter, as we get to the bottom half of the field.
Yeah, Greg Mitchell as well being caught up in that big one on the backstretch, and York, Gak Joan, Rabel, Michael Mohammed, Andrew Santo was definitely in this race tonight, and the admin tower will let him know that he was in this race tonight. Then we get a little further back outside the top 30 drivers that did not have the runs they were looking for, especially Forrest Smith being the first car to bring out a caution and then flipping over as well in the process.
Yeah, after he had some technical issues, but actually managed to make it ahead of some other drivers. James Coey, Chris Seidenfeld, Ed Robertson, Paul Irvin, all calling it a day early out of our 37 starters here. But let's talk to our third place finisher first, David Weishart. And David, glad to have you with us in the booth. Wanted to congratulate you on a solid top 3 finish for you. And at the end there, it was getting kind of dicey. You saw John Furness catching up, Brad Slaughter you were fighting with as well. Any concerns of Furness catching up to you towards the end? He was 1.3 seconds back from you at the finish.
I was actually more preoccupied with Ryan Hartz. I think he stayed out a little bit longer than us, had way fresher tires. So, but I think he had damage that kind of mitigated that a little bit. But we were keeping a close eye on it. To be honest with you, it was kind of a boring race. I didn't. Everybody, until that last run, we didn't have any really super long green flag runs, so everybody was just kind of running the same speed. And I don't know. I feel like in older previous packages, you used to be able to pass here, like you could wrap the curb in 3. You used to be able to do that. You can't do that anymore because it just spits you out towards the wall. And I don't know. This track's just not as fun as it used to be. But took advantage of a couple people's mistakes, or not mistakes. A lap car getting in the way, ruining 2 people's races there. So luckily to take advantage of that, come on with P3.
Yeah, definitely a solid finish for you. And also wanted to ask you, what was the plan as far if the race went green from the start? We were talking about in the booth, guys being close on the fuel cutoff, and we saw everyone very calm on that first run. Were you and your team saving fuel or saving tires, or just kind of, running at pace, not pushing the envelope, or did you guys know that you weren't going to be able to make it on one stop?
I wouldn't say we weren't really pushing, but we weren't really saving. We were just kind of riding. We were all, I think, as the time slowed down and everything, we were probably going to be good by a lap or 2 to make it on one stop. I tried the 2 stop here last season and threw away a top 5. So I think I ended up finishing like 13th or 14th in that race. So I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew the one stop had to be the strategy, which is kind of unfortunate because, like I said, everybody's running the same speed. So everybody is on the same strategy if it does go green. So I don't know. I'd like to see some other way we could possibly open up fuel strategy. I know we had those rash of cautions right there, and I debated on pitting early on that last run and taking 2 just to get some track position and a shorter stop, but just decided to run a little bit longer and take 4. So everybody was kind of on the same deal there. There was a couple guys ran long. I don't know how it worked out for everybody, but like I said, just happy for my team getting the overall win of the race. James, congrats to him, and the team I raced for, Slaughter Sim Racing, come up with 2 and 3.
All right, well, David, thanks for talking to us, and congrats on your 3rd place finish.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, moving on next, we'll talk to Cameron Hearn. And Cameron, we saw you that entire last run trying to chase down the man who won this race, James Scarlett, but unfortunately wasn't quite enough there. Walk us through how your race went.
Yeah, all in all, it was good. I burnt my tires up really bad on the first run, and then after that, I try to maintain myself a little bit and take it easy the first few laps. I felt like I was just as fast as James in the middle part of the run, and then he kind of pulled away. But it's one of these tracks when you have someone that's so fast and consistent, you can't really mess up. And I had a couple really bad corners that I felt like killed the right front. Just kind of get them to pull away a little bit, but I think the fastest guy won, and that's kind of what you want to see. So hats off to him, but coming on P2 is a good solid points night, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, definitely did. It's hard to complain with that. But I wanted to ask you, as far as when it came down to the pit strategy, that final pit stop that you guys made under green, were you planning on coming in with James, or was that kind of the number that you picked, or were you trying to see if you can undercut him, overcut him? What was the strategy for you there?
My teammate Brad pitted the previous lap, and I was like, I'm pitting the next lap. And then I saw James pitting. I'm like, oh, there goes this. I made some time up on entry because it's kind of good. You could use someone else as like a relative when you need to start braking and stuff. But lap down cars, we both had to battle them. We both kind of caught them in some weird spots throughout the race, but didn't really have anything to them. I could get to them. I just couldn't make it stick behind them once I got there, and yeah, that was all it wrote.
All right, well, regardless, still a very solid finish for you, Cameron. Thanks for talking to us.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, for the 6th time this season, we're talking this man last. So James Scully getting the 6th win of the season for him. James, how would you manage to get it done 6 times?
Man, I don't even really know. I do not like Pocono at all. Couldn't believe I won Monday. Didn't really think I was going to have any speed tonight. And then got lucky in qualifying. I don't think I had the qualifying pace, but the cloud just kept dropping the temperature. So shout out to the cloud for the quick qualifying lap. And then in the race, I don't know. I felt pretty good on the first run. And then whatever run Cameron started catching me, he got to like 2/10 behind me, and I heard him shifting into turn one, and I hadn't even thought about shifting yet. So then once I learned that really helped the car rotate, and in turn 1 and 3, then I was just able to kind of just keep breaking the draft and set sails. So just glad that I heard him shifting behind me that lap, because if I didn't, I think he would have gotten around me, and it would have been a lot more difficult to pass him back. So yeah, just crazy run we've been having. I don't know exactly why, but I like it, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, next week we head to Atlanta, so anything in particular planned for that, heading into that week to try to get win number 7?
I think it's just all going to be about survival at Atlanta. Just try not to die, keep the nose clean, and just try and be there at the end. It's going to be probably kind of a 2-lane race, just the top and the bottom probably hanging pretty even, so qualifying might be pretty important too. And then I think tires will come into play a little bit as well. It might start to get a little bit tight on entry and a little loose on exit, so it could be pretty interesting to watch. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
All right, well, James, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on your win.
Thanks, guys. Huge shout out to you guys in the booth for everything you do week in and week out. The product is amazing. I'm glad we were able to put on a pretty good race, almost caution free today. So happy for that. And then rickshotsauce.com, code Skyoli. Been telling you guys weeks in a row now. $7 off. Don't mess around. Use the code. It's great. And then Daniel's Candles, Butt Kicker, Matco Tools, and Chris Sports Cards. Thanks to all them for being on the car. And we'll hopefully be talking to you guys again next week.
All right,
At this rate, we will.
Yeah, I was going to say. At this rate, we will definitely. James, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, guys, he's done it again. Win number 6 for the number 7 car. I was going to say next week he'll actually match his car number at the rate he's going at, but he's been doing a phenomenal job this season. And again, for this race, hard to argue that he earned it. I think
if he gets to 8 wins, the code's got to take $8 off, and I think if he keeps winning, it's got to go up and up. So I'm looking for that, James. Get on that. But yeah, I mean, what can we say that hasn't been said already? He's been dominant. He's been the fastest car. All these wins, none of them are luck at any point. Really, the only reason he hasn't won every race is because of pit strategy at Charlotte and Daytona's Daytona. So it's been unbelievable what he's done. It's reaching Jake Nichols' Cup Series levels. As it's just a wild season. You get the Pro Series with only 3 winners, and we only had 1 repeat winner in the Cup Series, which is funny enough, Skyoli. So what can you say? This dude's on a roll, and no signs of stopping him for this championship unless something drastically changes, as he extends his series record mark of 28 area series wins, Hunter.
Yeah, very. That could very much change as. Well, we head back to a hybrid super speedway, if you will, the 1.5 mile Atlanta for all 3 series. Don't really know how that one's going to go, but I expect some surprise winners for 2 of the 3 series. I will not name which series those are, but I do expect it to be entertaining. Can't wait to come back Monday and figure out who will be the king of Atlanta.
Yeah, we'll see indeed. All 3 series for the Cup Truck and Pro Series will be heading next week to Atlanta, so stay tuned to that. That'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. But that'll be all here from the Area Pro Series, round number 7 here at Pocono. We'll be signing out. My name is Finity Kuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Slippy, and thank you for watching.